3 more, then twice the length. What does twice the length mean?
2 times.
2 times.
Oh.
I put the little 2 and then the times symbol, okay? Of the adjacent side. So we have to put a variable on one side. What variable do we want to use?
A.
Okay, so you want to use A. So I'm going to call one side my shorter side because I'm going to multiply this side and then add to it. So my shorter side is going to be my variable. Does that make sense why we chose that?
Yeah.
Okay, so if that's it, how do I multiply that by 2 and add 3? I put a 2 in front of the A, right? That's 2 times it, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm going to add 3.
So it'd be like, then what's A?
Well, we're not quite done yet.
Okay.
Do you know what, if these sides are congruent, right, that means this is an A too.
Yeah.
And it means this side is 2A plus 3. I'm not solving for A here because they're not asking me, they're not giving me a length. We're not done reading the problem yet.
Oh.
Okay? Now they say the perimeter. What is perimeter?
The outside.
The distance all the way around this whole thing
Is 30
equals 30. So how do you find perimeter? You add up all the sides, right? So what do I get when I add up all my sides here? I would have A plus 2A plus 3 plus A plus 2A plus 3. Do you guys agree?
Yep.
Is that adding up all my sides?
Yeah.
Is that adding this, this, plus this, plus this, plus this?
Yeah.
Well, actually,
And what's the
no.
perimeter equal?
1,
What is all the way around?
30.
6, 7,
It equals
It's
30.
9. Oh, no, I know it's 30, but like it all.
You're
equals
counting the
9.
A?
Yeah.
Where do you get 9?
Because you do. Isn't
2, 4, 5, 6. I have 6A.
Wait, how do you? Have
Combine your A's together.
Isn't? Yeah, I did that because of this.
So what is
2.
that?
But then 2. Isn't there an invisible 1 in front of that A? So it'd be like
1 plus 2
it's
is
3.
plus 1
Oh, right. The 3 doesn't count.
plus 2. So we have 6A.
And then there's
And
3.
now we combine these guys because they're different.
Right.
So we add 6. And that is all equal to...
30.
Now what do I... Can you guys solve that?
Negative 6 on both sides.
And then we get 6A equals
20.
24. And then we divide by 6, so A equals 4.
It equals 24?
It equals 4. 6A is 24.
Oh yeah, it's 4.
Okay? Are we done? They just wanted us to find the value of A.
Yeah.
So we're done with that one. Okay? Let's go to the back.
Wait, can you go back?
Hmm?
Wait, how'd you get on 4?
Divided both sides by 6. I just was running out of space, so I didn't show it. We want that A by itself. How are we going to get it by itself? We got to change it into, we have to make it 1A, so 6 divided by 6 is 1. Okay? All right, so let's go to the next page. Now they want me to say, is it a rectangle? They're telling me it is a parallelogram. But now they want to know, is it a rhombus, a rectangle, or a square? So thinking back to your flip books, we're going to be specifically looking at our rectangle page, our rhombi page, and our square page. Okay? So let's look at, I'm going to look at 2 and 4 because I want you to do 1 and 3 on your own. Okay? But you've got to compare them. So when I look at 2, I have, notice I have 2 pairs of congruent sides and 4 right angles. Okay? Where do I have, I get the 2 pairs of congruent sides from the parallelogram, right? That's true about any parallelogram. So that doesn't tell me what it is. It just says, oh, it's a parallelogram. But now I have to look and I have to see, where does it tell me I have 4 right angles in the corner?
2.
Is it a rectangle or is it a rhombus that tells me that?
Rectangle.
A rectangle. So what is that one?
Rectangle.
It is a rectangle because I have 4 right angles, so I know this is a rectangle. Do you see how you're going to do this?
Yeah.
You're going to look, where is it that I have 4 sides that are congruent?
That's a square.
That's a rhombus.
Where is it that they define that I have four sides
Rhombus.
congruent?
Oh, you're right.
It's a, so does that make sense?
Well, we're about number 3.
Does that make sense to you, Darrell?
Yeah, it's fine.
Okay. So it is a rhombus.
What about number 3 though?
Well, you have to look at that one and
Four,
decide.
four.
You look at that one and you decide.
Wait.
Because I don't want to give you the
Can I have
answers.
the flip book?
Well, wouldn't it be a...
What do you want?
I think, can I have the flip book then?
Oh,
I don't know
where's
if
your
I-
flip book?
I gave it to you.
Then it's over on the shelf. I don't have it.
Wouldn't that be a square?
Number 1 would not be a
Yeah,
square.
I said number 3.
Well, that's up to you to decide. It's a secret, I'll tell you
what's
on Monday.
4? You said you would do.
Okay,
That's a
4.
parallelogram.
All right, let's talk about 4. In 4, I have a right angle, right? And I have parallel sides
Oh, yeah.
and congruent sides. Now, I want you to think here, we know that because it's a parallelogram, what does this angle up here have to be? Because these two angles together have to be supplementary.
Yeah.
So what is this angle if this is 90?
90.
So this is 90. Opposite angles are congruent. So if this is 90, what is
That's
this?
90.
90,
So that's
which
why.
means this is going to be 92. So what kind of a shape is that one?
That's parallelogram? Oh no, rectangle.
It's a rectangle
Oh,
again.
so I was right.
It could be a square. If we had the 4 right angles and they told me all the sides were congruent, then I'd know it's a
That
square.
just shows that that one was...
I'm not telling you the answer to that one. You can hint all you want. All right, let's look at 5. Let's look at number 6.
She's not cracking, Doyle.
In a way, you just hold it.
Well, then you paid close attention and then you're happy, right? Okay, so let's look here at number 6. In number 6, what do I have going on? They want me to tell them all these different angles. But I know that it's a rhombus. Okay, it's a rhombus. If this angle is 73, now think parallelogram, opposite angles are congruent in a parallelogram. Is a rhombus a parallelogram? Yeah, it is. So these angles are congruent, which makes this angle appear 73 too. Now, what do we know about this shape?
They're bisexual.
Triangle.
What else do we know about a rhombus?
All sides are congruent.
So what shape is that red shape that we just drew? Traced.
A rhombus.
Just the red piece. What is
it's
that?
an isosceles.
It's an isosceles triangle. What do we know about isosceles triangles?
They're both base.
Base angles are
base
congruent.
angles. Yeah.
So how are we going to find this? What do all 3 angles in a triangle add up to?
What are you?
180.
So 73 degrees plus, these two are the same, right?
No.
So let's call them both x in this picture. Plus 2x equals 180 degrees. And then solve for x. And it'll give you one of those angles. And do you guys remember we have side angle side congruence?
Mhm.
Do you see we have side angle side congruence here?
Yeah.
Or side side side, because this side's going to be congruent to itself.
Yeah.
So we know that whatever 2 is, 1 is going to be. And whatever 4 is, 3 is going to be. That should help you with all of these. The only one that I want to make sure you see is here in 10. What is 2? What's the property of a rhombus that tells me what angle 2 is? What do you know about diagonals in a rhombus? They are, what does that little upside down T mean?
Oh, they're
Bisector.
they're parallel.
They're perpendicular. And so what kind of an angle do we have here at the center in a rhombus? A right angle. So 2 is a right angle. That helps you know what 1 should be here in this problem. Look for triangles when you're dealing with rhombuses. Or rhombi, excuse me.
Rhombus.
And the other one is, down here at the bottom, I just want to show you one of these. Remember, the property that's going to help you with these is in a rectangle, what do we know about the diagonals?
They're congruent.
They're congruent. So that means all of these pieces, when they're cut, are congruent. And that's only true in a rectangle. We get that they bisect each other from the parallelogram, but they are congruent in a rectangle. I hope that makes sense to you. Okay. And that's going to help you here on these, is that idea. Now let's look at the last page. I'm hoping I can hit just some highlights for you. Now here, you're going to be deciding, just like we did when we were deciding if it was a rectangle, a rhombus, or a square. You're going to be deciding that here as well, just like we did in the previous ones. But we've got to decide if it's what are my different types of parallelograms or quadrilaterals?
Rhombus.
We have a rhombus.
Squares.
What else? Could be a square.
Rectangle.
What else is a quadrilateral we've talked about? Rectangle or parallelogram. Now I know you guys are a little lazy, so you can come up with your own abbreviations and write them there. Like I always do rhombus as RH, and a rectangle is an RC, and a square is just an S, and a parallelogram is just a P. That way you don't have to write them out every single time. Okay? And this is the same kind of thing. You're just going to decide true or false. Use your flip book for this. Do rectangles have 4 congruent angles? True or false? Do the diagonals of a rhombus, are they always congruent? You have to decide, looking at your flip book.
I'll be back.
And then 25, you're going to find the length. I hope that helps you guys with your homework, and I will see you on Monday.